Welcome to Executive English. Today we'll have our first lesson on specialized vocabulary in the area of medicine. Remember that we have more in-depth content and vocabulary in our regular classes. Today's lesson is a bit more practical, especially if you are going to travel in an English-speaking country. You might want to know some of these words. We're going to look at some medical vocabulary and to talk about the issues that you're facing, okay? First of all, let's break down the medical vocabulary in three sections. We have injuries, we have illnesses, and we have diseases, okay? First thing to understand, an injury is always about the physical body. It's bones, it's tissues, it's skin, it's all these things. Illness is inside the body. It is usually shorter, it doesn't last a long time, and you can usually get rid of it. You can fix it somehow. Diseases, on the other hand, are also inside, but they take a long time and quite often they can kill you. Okay, some diseases, nothing you can do about them. There's no cure for them, but some diseases you can treat. Okay? We'll talk about that as well. You can treat them, but there's no cure necessarily. So let's start with injury. An injury to your physical body can come in different forms. All of these are called wounds. It sounds like an ooh sound. A wound is when you do something to physically harm your body. A burn, if you touch the stove, you're pulling out the bread from the oven, you touch it, or the stove, you're cooking something and you touch the hot plate, it will burn your hand. So if you burn your hand, it'll sting a little bit. It'll hurt a lot, but you can put some lotion on it. Take care of it. A break, now if you go skiing and by accident you fall down, you can break your leg, or if you go bicycling off-road, like trial biking, you fall down, you break your leg and you break your arm. Break something, like crack a bone inside, somewhere broke. But you could also fall and sprain something. A sprain means like almost a break. Like, for example, you fall down on your ankle. You can't see my ankle, it's down there, but I'm like twisting it. If I fall down on it, I won't break my bone, but it will get all swollen. It'll puff up, it'll be blue and black and very, very painful. And maybe I won't be able to walk on it, but I didn't break anything. So these are examples of injuries. Next we have illness. Now everybody gets ill at some time. If you say sickness, it means the same thing, exactly the same thing. You can get a cold and sneezing and coughing and whatever. You can get a flu, usually comes with a fever. Many of you know influenza, but we just say flu for short. This is not very fun. You stay in bed for a few days, but eventually it goes away, hopefully. And we often talk about a bug. Now, when we talk about a bug, we're talking usually about a virus. So we say there's a bug going around. So during certain times of the year, you'll get on the bus and somebody on the bus is sick, or somebody coughing and then grabbing onto the handle. Then you come on the bus, you grab the handle, the bug comes inside you, and the next day you're ill. You have a flu, you have a cold, you have something. They'll say there's a bug going around. Next, we have a disease. Now, a disease is a very harsh thing. There's mental diseases, there's physical diseases. Something that is chronic means that it continues for a long time. It doesn't go away. Like even if you have a chronic cough, means I'm always coughing. It doesn't go away. Then if you get tested and find out that, for example, you have a tumor, let's say, you had something growing inside you, you think maybe it's cancer. You go get a test and then find out if it's benign. It means it's not dangerous. It's not going to do anything to you. It won't develop into a disease. But then there are some diseases that are permanent. Terminal means end. So basically, if you have a terminal disease, you're going to die. Sad but true, that's how it works. Cancer is a terminal disease in most cases. It goes away for a little while, but it can come back. But if you have a terminal disease, you probably are going to pass away. Now, we heal injuries. You go to the doctor, you go to the hospital, they do something, they fix your arm, and eventually after a little bit of time, your broken arm, your broken bone heals. For an illness, you go to the doctor and he prescribes a remedy. We'll talk about different types of treatments another time. But remedy is something that you use to fix an illness. Remedy can be a noun. You go for a remedy, or a verb, you can remedy an illness. Now, a disease you treat over time. You do all kinds of things to treat the disease, and you hope that someday or somebody finds a cure. I mean, some diseases have a cure. You go to the doctor, he gives you something, and you're cured. This can also be a noun or a verb. So here's a start to your medical vocabulary learning. Join us again another time. We'll look at different treatments for different types of medical situations.
Executive English comes with more than 150 videos of grammar classes online that you can access in executiveenglish.com. All regular students have access to all the exclusive online content that we provide.